Hi friends, welcome back. This is Dr. Raj Shekhar. I'm here again live on Facebook, talking to you on a very pleasant topic for me. Sitting next to one of my really best friends I have in my life, Abhishek.
Hi guys, what's
Say
up?
hi. Hi. So I'm really excited because I've known Abhishek for about 6 years now, and he's a phenomenal person. He's changed my life completely. He's changed the way I think, changed the way I actually go about doing stuff. I was yesterday in a session where Abhishek was training us. He's a coach, he's a mentor, he's my trainer as well. And the way he connected with all of us, it literally flowed the whole thing. It brought the messages with such simplicity, and it's been a great 5-6 years that I've known him. That every time that I sit with him, that I go through a training session with him, it becomes so simple. It appears as if nothing can be difficult. That's the kind of person he is. He's been a businessman his life. As a family, comes from a very strong business background. He himself did business at a very young age. I can't even imagine. I never thought about such things in my life, but he has been into business right from his teenage. And then he went into banking. Okay, and a good 10 years of banking, hitting success everywhere. And then can you imagine that after that he's branched out into something completely unbelievable different, a business which I cannot relate it if I were not knowing him from before. Like it's something that I really want to learn from him, because when I think of business, okay, for example, I come from the hospital background, so for me business was always something bad. You should not do business. But I learned from him that business can be done for good of society, because businessmen help other people get employment, to get a source of income. And there were so many things that I learned from him. And now today I'm here sitting to learn something from him about how you can take a business to the next level. You don't need a lot of stuff. And I want him to share with me, because coming from the kind of background that he is, okay, I want to understand what made him go into this completely different business. So Abhishek, can you share with us a little bit about what it is that made you think about doing a home-based business?
Firstly, thank you, Dr. Raj, for this unbelievable, crazy introduction. I don't think I really deserve such a way. I'm really a nobody. I'm just trying to build myself. I'm just trying to develop myself. Like all of us, I guess all of us have either been employed, self-employed, run businesses, run professions. You've been an amazing doctor. I don't know if you all know this about him as yet, but he's a specialist neurologist with experience across hospitals around different cities. So he was with Apollo Hyderabad, he was with Zuleika hospitals in Dubai, with NMC, Meteor, and he's had one of the highest qualifications in the medical profession. And having known him for the last 6 years, I've come to know Dr. Raj as somebody who's been very, very open to change, and that is something which is phenomenal. I absolutely adore this part of Dr. Raj, that the fact that you're willing to do things with 99% people don't even look at, right? Which is phenomenal. But I particularly chose home-based as something which is because of a very simple reason. Home-based business is like another business. It is just another business, minus the risks of the business, but with the huge potential that comes with it.
Okay.
Right? We will talk about it in a little more detail possibly, but if I had to just give you one line, a home-based business cuts out all the risk of a conventional business and gives you upside like nothing else.
Okay. One thing I love about Abhishek is something that I really want to learn, this ability to only see the good in the other person. And this is something which I when a lot of people say you should know the good and the bad, you should also see the bad side. But I've learned one thing from him, that it's not even a mother knows that a child has something bad, is a mixture, right? But the mother still loves the child, and that's loyalty, that's love. But it's not about being blind to the faults. It's about finding out that one thing that that person has which makes him unique. And that is an ability which I got, which I learned, which I saw in Abhishek time and again. And that's something that I really wanted to share. That's why, so let's come back to the topic. I'm really excited about this topic.
Me too, absolutely.
So why do you think, like, can you elaborate, why do you think a home business is so powerful? What makes it so powerful?
Well, let's for that we'll have to possibly look at a comparison, right? What would we compare a home business to? We can compare a home business to a conventional business.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
I mean, that's an apple to apple comparison.
Right.
Okay, so if I were to look at a conventional business, what do I have? Okay, I have a certain amount of money that I need to invest to start a business.
Right.
All right. In most cases, unless you've come out with an idea which is phenomenal, unless you're the founder of WhatsApp or Facebook, which almost started with nothing at all,
Right.
and you've been able to create it into something huge, okay, like
Right.
Narayan Murthy did or Steve Jobs did. They didn't start with anything. They just started with something and made it huge in their
Correct.
lifetimes.
Correct. Correct.
So I'm not talking about that league of people. Okay,
Right.
they're extraordinary, and I have a lot of respect. I really read a lot about them. All right, but I'm talking about ordinary people. I believe that I'm a very ordinary person, and for an ordinary person like me, what are the possibilities if I wanted to create a business for myself? Put in a lot of money, okay?
Right.
Make an investment,
Right.
carry all that financial risk, possibly put in all my savings, possibly assume debt from the market, okay, or have other people invest into equity into
Right.
my business,
Right.
and then put in a whole lot of time, maybe 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 hours a day in helping that business become big, right?
Right.
So basically put in all my resources of time and money, okay? Hope and pray that luck favors me, okay? Hope and pray that the economy favors me, that my creditors pay me back on time,
Right.
right? Hope and pray that my products sell, my services sell, okay?
Right.
There's enough demand, and that my competition, somebody from China, is not manufacturing something cheaper than me,
Right.
okay? Or a much bigger player is not just cutting me off from the market purely because they have the ability or the resources
Right.
to reach out to everybody. So as a small business owner, I run a tremendous amount of risk.
Absolutely.
I run the risk of a financial risk. I run the risk of the economy not doing well. I run the risk of my employees not being loyal to me.
Right.
Okay, I run the risk of I run a credit risk or a default risk where I might not be able to get money back from my customers, and hence I may not be able to pay off
Pay back,
people.
right.
And that's what happens conventionally.
Right.
Right. And
Right.
obviously I also have an upside because as a business owner I can scale up my business, I can do a lot of things, but scaling up a business will require me to invest more time, more money, more of
Right.
everything.
Right. Right.
Now, I don't know. I just a thought, right? Okay, what if there was a way that you didn't have to invest a lot of time? In fact, very, very little time to start with. Very, very little money to start with. You did not require any skill. Okay, you still had the ability to scale up your business to whatever level you want to do it.
Okay.
Right? But you don't invest anything into working capital. So
Right.
you don't need to an office space, you don't need to hire people, you don't need to stock goods, you don't need to do any of those things,
Wow.
but yet be able to create multi-million dollar worth businesses.
That sounds really ideal.
And that is what a home-based business is.
Okay.
Right?
I
That
got
is
it.
what a home-based business has the ability to do.
Right.
And which is exactly why, okay, when I was in a position where I had to choose, okay, this was a no-brainer for me, right?
Okay.
Because of course, you got to work hard everywhere. Where do you not need to work hard?
That's a
right?
given.
Whether you're employed, whether you're self-employed, whether you have a profession, as a doctor you work hard, as a banker I used to work hard, but if I am working hard, why not work on something which is A, scalable, and B, which does not have a downside?
Right.
And that is why I chose this industry.
Abhishek, I come from a medical background,
Yeah.
so I have zero understanding of business to start with.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that I learned.
Now it's changed.
Of course, absolutely. But I have a lot of friends, a lot of colleagues who might be sitting here right now and who might watch it
All right.
and may not completely understand some of the things that you're saying, like scalability and stuff like that. So what I want, if you could do that, is to share with me one example, because I remember you telling me that right when you were a teenager,
Yeah.
you started building a business,
Yeah.
and then the issue which came up was scalability.
Yes.
And can you illustrate this point by telling us what actually happened at that time?
Sure. So my first home-based business per se or business, I would say, was when I was in my 11th grade in college. I had started a travel agency, a sub-travel agency, where I used to buy from a principal IATA approved agency, and I used to sell air tickets and such stuff to my customers who were predominantly my friends, my relatives who were traveling, and so on and so forth. Okay, so almost as soon as I started this business, it immediately took off. Okay, because obviously you're networked, you're connected to people. Okay, and especially when you're in college and it's your first business, people want to support you. Sure. Right? Okay, chalo bachche ko, support karo, acha karega ye. So everybody started buying tickets from me. I remember one of my uncles, okay, he had a very large company, and he decided to buy tickets from me at no discount, whereas the principal agent that he used to buy with used to give him discounts.
Okay.
Right? So he was like, it's okay, 3% to me doesn't make so much of a difference, but I can support you, okay, to build your business, which was great, and I'm grateful for him to do that. But what happened was in almost a year's time, I came to a place where my business started peaking out with the present network that I had. Right. So my next option was, now if I wanted to go beyond that, I had to approach and reach out to corporates. Okay. Right. I had to deal with real companies. Okay, not my friends and relatives who would just give away things, okay, to me as their own bacha, as their own child. Yeah. So I started approaching corporates. I started approaching the Birla Group, which is very, very large in Calcutta, and I started getting orders from there. But except there was one problem, that they wanted a 90-day credit period. Right? Now let's understand this. Let's say you're a company who has an average monthly airfare billing of 10 lakhs of rupees. Today everything happens online, but back then it wasn't like that. Right? So let's say you have an average billing of 10 lakh of rupees and you want a 3-month credit. Right? So which basically means that I need a working capital to put in 30 lakhs into you without knowing the credit risk, without knowing how you're performing, and putting that money in to get your business. Right? And as somebody in the 11th grade who's just started out, right, if I want to create a turnover of, let's say, okay, 2 crores of rupees a month, okay, which is not a very, very big deal if you look at the world today, right? $500,000 or let's say $400,000 is not a lot of money in terms of turnovers if you're generating. Right. But if I had to create that kind of a turnover, right, what kind of an investment did I require to put in, right? And what was my risk on that, right? So at some point of time, okay, I had limitations.
Right.
Okay, because my principal would give me a 2 weeks credit, but I had to pass on a credit of 3 months, and who would give me the difference of the money? Right. And that is where my issues with scalability came in.
Right. So that's a very great illustration of what it takes for a business to rise from a small business into a bigger one, and which is called scalability, and which is what actually Abhishek faced many times in his life, and which is why I want to know from you. How is it possible that you as a banker with as an ex-banker and a business background, you could think of it and do any business, right?
Sure.
But how is it possible for somebody like a doctor or like an engineer or a chartered accountant or some professional who has maybe no business background? How could he do a home business? How does it make a difference to him?
Doctor, I don't think that there's a concern with the how. Okay, in my years of experience, I have only seen one thing, that the issue has always been a why.
Okay.
Right? The issue has always been what is the need for them to do something.
Okay.
Right? Now, a majority of the world, most of the people that you and I know are living in a comfort zone. Right? Now, let me give you my experience. Okay, when I was a banker, when in 2007 I moved to Dubai to work with one of the largest banks in the world, which I'm very proud to have worked with. Okay, and I was very fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with such a massive corporation. Okay, I was very comfortable. Okay, I had this feeling that I have arrived. Right, I have reached a certain level where when I looked around, most people weren't there. Right, and then 2008-9 happened when Lehman Brothers went down. Okay, I saw the same group of friends that I had, including myself, okay, get shot down in our heads because we could no longer be in our comfort zone, because every company, at least in this part of the world, and I'm sure in many other countries as well, okay, were just removing people, were making people redundant, not because they were not good enough, but purely because they couldn't afford, because the economy wasn't supporting. Right. So at that point of time, if I'm very grateful for 2008-9 to have happened to me.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
If recession had not happened, okay, then I would not have been where I am today, because I would never have thought of doing something beyond that. I would have been very comfortable uh, growing in my corporate career,
Right.
because I was very happy doing that, and that is what I knew.
Right.
But when I saw that this is risky,
Right.
okay, to be
Right.
depending on one source of income,
Okay.
that to a corporate which I have no control over, and nothing. I mean, I'm not blaming corporates, because at the end of the day, they're in business. They
Right.
got to do well.
Right.
So if they're not doing well, they have to. They can't pay us,
Right.
right? And they have to remove people. So nothing wrong with that, right?
Right.
But the fact is, okay, why should I leave my life on chance? Right? So
Right.
if I can't leave my life on chance, if I need to take control, and when this started emerging in my head in 2009, after having worked for so many years, for the first time I was like, no, I need to get back into business, right? And when I felt that need from within, that I need something, then the how didn't matter for me,
Right.
right? Then it was a question of, I would do anything which would come into my way. Now,
Right.
I wasn't particularly looking at a home-based business, because like 99% of us, I too did not understand what this is. I had misconceptions about this industry. I had no understanding, I would say, of
Right.
this industry.
Right.
But when I started looking, right, I looked at franchising options.
Right.
Right. One of the major companies in the Gulf, which I was looking at buying a franchisee from, okay, they require an investment of 6 million over dirhams.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
for a very, very basic fruit franchisee, which is, by the way, that company is not doing well anymore. Right.
Is it?
So imagine if I had started, okay, if I had invested 6 million over dirhams to buy a franchisee, okay,
Right.
of a then leading company, okay, I would have not only been overridden by debt with that kind of money today,
Right.
because that would be a financial risk,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I looked at many options. It wasn't that I didn't look at many options, because
Right.
my reason was clear. My reason was I wanted to create a second source of income.
Right.
I did not want dependency on my job.
Right.
Right. And when I had that reason, my why was clear,
Right.
then the how didn't matter. Then I was looking at anything which could help me. And when I got an opportunity to work on a home-based business,
Right.
which did not require a lot of money, did not require a lot of time,
Right.
okay, I had the ability to learn the skills. Of course, there was a lot of learning required.
Right.
And for everybody who knows me from the last X number of years, they definitely would say that yes, I have gone through transformation.
Right.
Okay, and nothing short of that.
Okay.
Right. So if I found that opportunity, right, then I didn't really look at how.
Okay.
Correct. I had a reason, and I was like, I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this.
Okay.
Right. And that is what I really plunged into. So to answer you, I'm sorry, giving you really long answers to your questions, but it's never the how.
Right.
Right. If you're in your comfort zone, you will not look at something else. But
Right.
tomorrow, God forbid, you lose your job. Okay, you have 3 children and you can't afford their education. Right. You have a need to be able to create a second source of income for any reason. Your wife loses her job and you need. Okay. Whatever happens, when your why becomes strong enough, right, you will be able to take a plunge, and you will realize that we don't have many options.
Right, right. Well, it makes a lot of sense, and believe me, in all the years that I have known Abhishek, he started off as a financial advisor, and today he's talking about business, which is a completely different ball game altogether. So for somebody like us, you know, when we come from a very, very different background, an academic background, somebody like that, so we are a little bit scared about business. And if you're saying that, you know, my why and how and all those things, there is a why, but the fear of not knowing, of not having the skills and all these actually are stopping a lot of people.
Sure.
So can you share something like why would a home-based business, a home business, in what sense it helps? Because you shared some of those things. Can you highlight those things? In what sense can it add value to anybody? Like what I understand is that anybody can do it, is what I understand.
No, that's not correct. Everybody cannot do it.
Is it?
No, everybody cannot. Everybody definitely cannot do it. Okay, because it requires a certain amount of self-belief.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Okay, because imagine doing something where 99% of the people don't understand you.
Right.
Right. Almost everybody doesn't understand what you do. Almost everybody out there is, okay, not familiar with what you do. Okay, because in my last 6 years, okay, I have seen crazy opposition to what I do.
Okay.
Today, as we speak, all those people who were opposing have started to give me respect for my belief, right? But my strongest thing which comes to me has come from my mother, right? Okay, she has been educated at a Bengali medium school, okay, with almost very little education, but she has really handcrafted me, okay. She has showed me through her belief, okay. She came from a very small village, okay, but she was one of the first few people, and at that time, who started to drive a car in a metropolitan city.
Wow.
Right? She was the one person who got me admission into the best school, okay, arguably. For those of my friends in Calcutta, La Martins and Bosco are not the best schools, and Xavier's is. All right.
I think Tanya is there.
Okay.
She will dispute you.
Right. So she was the one who got me admission, and I know what all she went through to be able to get me that admission.
Right.
So the self belief that I carry today really comes from my mom,
Right.
right, and it is unshakable.
Right.
Right. So it does. I guess not a home-based business. Anywhere to succeed,
Right.
you require self-belief. Now, what happens is, as you land up growing in the corporate career, I'm happy
Right.
that I landed up coming out of the corporate career in time. Was the more you land up growing in a corporate career, the more addicted you get, the more how should I put it? You're so overshadowed, okay, with not being able to take risks.
Right. The scare increases.
You're scared. You fear everything.
Right.
Right. You want everything to be sorted.
Right.
Right. And I don't know anybody who's successful who's not taken risks. I don't know anybody who's not successful who's not fallen down or who's not failed a million times.
Right.
Right. So this belief, after having gone through a billion challenges in my business, in my careers, okay, this self-belief that I possess today is my biggest strength. And for anybody to become successful, right, it is more than anything else. Of course, you have to have a reason. That is why you will do anything. But you need to have self-belief. And if you don't, most likely you're going to fail.
Okay. That's a great lesson, I think. But can I ask you a question related to business now? Is that when people talk about home business, a lot of people start thinking, oh, is it you need to click some sites, okay, or you need to just sit at home and go to some websites, answer questionnaires. I even heard this. There is a business, they're doing a business, but they're answering questionnaires.
Sure.
Or network marketing.
Sure.
Or is it that same thing?
Right.
So what do you answer to such questions?
Well, yeah, I don't know. As long as it's a business, okay, as long as it's legitimate, and as long as it does not require you to have infrastructure, okay, which basically means that you could run it from your house, you could run it from a cafe, you could run it from wherever in the world you are, okay, you could categorize it to be a home business, right? So there is no real definition, okay, that this is a home business, this is not a home business.
Right.
My travel business, when I was running it from home, it was a home business.
Okay.
Right? When my publishing business I was running from home is a home business.
Right.
Right? But a home business does not require you to only work from home.
Okay.
Correct? Because think of a blogger. Okay, a blogger is also running a home-based business, right?
Right.
But so a blogger can be an ordinary blogger. He blogs and that's it, right? But you can have successful bloggers. Like one of the people that I follow is Mr. Pat Flynn, okay, who lives in San Diego in America, and he's got this amazing website called Smart Passive Income. Okay, and he's one of my inspirations.
Okay.
Right? He was an architect, and he built this entire community of people, okay, the SPI community, which we call it. I'm very proud to be a part of it. Okay, he built everything, okay, through his home, but he did require to travel for conventions. He did require to write books and make himself popular and brand himself and meet people and network with people.
Right.
Okay, so a home business doesn't mean you sit in the house and you work. To become successful in anything, you got to do what is required.
Right.
Yes, but you can work it out from anywhere in the world.
Okay.
Right? You could run it from home, you could run it from a coffee shop, you could do it from wherever else you want.
Right. So the big strength which I can see from here is that in a home-based business, you don't need to build that infrastructure of having an office and various other stuff.
Absolutely.
Right? All
Bang
the
on.
cost then comes down.
Bang on.
Right.
Bang on.
That's a great thing. So what do you think? Which kind of person can start a home business, and how should he start it?
First, is there a need?
Right.
Correct? Is there a need? Right? Because if there's no need, then you may be trying something out, and most likely you're not going to make it.
Right.
Right? But if there is and when I say a need, I'm not giving a negative connotation to it. It's not like, oh, I've lost my job, I have a need to do something. No, I'm not talking of that. I didn't lose my job, right? I chose to leave my job. I did not lose my job. So if you have a need of growth,
right,
okay, like if you have a need of becoming successful, becoming independent, building a business, like for example, what drives me today, okay, is my vision of making a difference to people, right? I want to empower people. I want to empower human beings, okay, to become independent and not be in the corporate shackles throughout their life, and not be so scared, okay, that if I don't have this job, if I don't have this, no, it's not necessary. Yes, you may have challenges, but you will grow come what may. So I want to be able to empower, educate, coach these people to be able to, so that drives me. So when I sit with somebody and I know that I'm being able to make a difference, if I know that I'm being able to really add value into somebody's life,
right,
I'm excited,
right,
and that this drive, okay, keeps me up all night, keeps me going like 24 hours a day, okay, wanting to do more, okay, despite, okay, all the negativity that may have, surrounded at some point of time, okay, I still want to keep pushing, because my vision is greater than me. I genuinely want to make a difference to people, and I believe that in coming years, okay, jobs are gonna get fewer, population's gonna be bigger.
Right.
Okay, it is happening. Right. Technology is taking over. Right. Today, if you're a relationship manager with a bank and you're selling products, there will be a day when technology will take over.
Right.
Okay, you will not be required to give advice. In any ways, you're not giving great advice.
Right.
You will not be required to give advice.
Right.
Correct. So technology is going to take jobs. It's going to eat into it, and if we're not being able to see it, I'm not sure. Right, because it's the writing is on the wall. Okay, Tesla Motors builds cars using robotics. People are not required to build cars today, right? So if things are moving, think about it, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years later, are there going to be more jobs? And this is why home entrepreneurship has become a big thing.
Right.
Today, Warren Buffett owns 3 network marketing companies. Okay, Donald Trump has endorsed his name into a network marketing company. Okay, Pat Flynn runs a home-based business. John Melton, Ray Higdon's been recognized as, by Inc. 5000 as one of the fastest growing educational companies. His company, Ray Higdon. So people around the world today are moving towards home entrepreneurship. Right? Governments are supporting home entrepreneurship because that home entrepreneurship is creating employment. It is giving people the ability. Okay, so whether you're a broadcaster, whether you're a blogger, you're a podcaster, you are an affiliate marketer, you're a network marketer, you have the ability to, run a business with a mobile phone, a laptop, an internet connection at any place in the world. Right? And be able to create substantial scalable income through that. Right? So today, things are moving in that direction. Right? Yes, okay, people have still not accepted as much, but there will be a time when people will. So first, is there a need? What is your need? If you have a genuine need of growth, if you have a genuine need, if you have a vision which is bigger than you, if you want to make a difference, if you want to contribute, if you want to add value, okay, into other people's life, because home businesses are not done alone. Okay, a blogger does not work alone. A network marketer does not work alone. Right? We all have to come together. Okay, so if you're not a people's person, then you may not, right? So if you have a reason and you have a vision which is bigger than you, okay, or if you have a reason which is strong enough, okay, for you to be able to accomplish what you want to accomplish, okay, then find a good mentor and a coach, right? Find somebody who's willing to hold your hand and take you to the finish line, right? And give that person 100% faith, give that person 100% trust, and do and learn and develop yourself. There's no skill, there's nothing which a person cannot develop. And you are one of the best examples I can have. Right? Having worked with you, I've seen you develop in the last. You have been a great doctor. You've been my client. Correct. But today, when I look at you, okay, from the kind of value that we have added into each other's lives, right? And when I look at you, for what transformation